honoring the most critical element of aviation. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Rudinger.
And I'm Tom Haynes. The most important person in pilots' careers is their flight instructor. Flight instructors and flight schools are the gateways to success, or sadly, sometimes the gate that crushes the dreams of a budding aviator.
So that's why AOPA honors the best of the best.
Those embodiments of creating confidence in an environment that's uncertain, leaving the ground and having somebody say, you can do it, you can go by yourself, is a monumental moment in aviation. It's one of the things that nobody ever forgets, but somebody trusted you that you're going to come back down and do it safely, enjoy it with a big old smile, and never forget that day. And for that, we owe the great flight schools of America that exist for their confidence in aviators to help grow, take some risk, but have a whole bunch of fun and instill this thing we call aviation.
This week at AOPA headquarters, we presented the 4th annual Flight Training Excellence Awards. We asked students and pilots to review their flight training experiences, and that led us to nearly 800 flight schools and more than 1,500 instructors whose students said they were the best.
And from that pool of excellence, we picked the best flight school of 2015. Paul Harrop reports.
Okay, the airspeed coming up. Okay, bring that note. Now you can use it.
It's a perfect day for an intro lesson in flight, and this future pilot has picked the perfect school to come check out.
Okay, bring that up. Back towards you.
AeroVenture Institute is doing a lot of things right.
We started in 2010. It's a family-owned operation, so it's my father, my mother, and I. I'm the president and CEO of the company. Deborah Allen, my mom, is the vice president of operations, and Bill Allen, our chief instructor.
That family atmosphere is a driving force behind the business.
It's been really like a home atmosphere. Come in, I feel like part of the family.
Sam Fowler earned his private pilot certificate earlier this week.
Really, it comes down to flow, and the school has it. It just flows really well. It's not mechanical. It doesn't feel step by step. Everything just it goes, and then you get there. So it's more like going down a river than climbing some stairs.
When you walk in the door, it's very warm and cozy and welcoming. Yet at the same time, we are a professional operation. Our instructors do wear uniforms. A certain segment of our student population, the younger kids in the high school, the high school programs also wear uniforms.
AeroVenture Institute partnered with a high school program to allow students to earn 6 college credits while working towards a pilot certificate.
The class is every Saturday morning, so we're just coming for that and take it. And then the online course is quizzes and lessons that we have to read and take on our own time and get that done by the set deadlines.
It's hard work, but the flight time and college credits motivate students like Jason Smith.
It's good to know that I have a head start towards the college credits and all that kind of stuff.
And the family atmosphere gives comfort to Jason's mom.
When you're involved with a group of people like the Allens, it is a family, so you get that feeling and you know that he'd be well cared for and taken care of, and he's learning what he needs to learn, and he's got people looking out for him.
And that pretty much sums up the Allen family flight training philosophy.
Just try to provide the best service, the best flight instruction, and the best atmosphere that we possibly can, and apparently that's just catching on far and wide.
Oh, what do you think? You coming back a second time?
Definitely.
In Southbridge, Massachusetts, Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
Thanks, Paul. Of course, an excellent flight school has to have excellent instructors.
Individual flight instructors are crucial to bringing people into aviation. And this year, AOPA honors Todd Shellnut, a CFI and FAA designated pilot examiner from Atlanta, Georgia.
Probably the best thing I like about flight instructing is the view from my office every day. It's just one of the greatest things to me, to be able to know that that passion is still strong within me, and that every day when I do go flying, it never gets old. A lot of people like to say that pilots are a student, and I like to refer to mine as my clients. Once I do their training, and I've trained with them, they're my student for life or my client for life. You can't just be that person that when the client shows up for their lesson, that the instructor's like, hey, go pre-flight, I'll be out there in a minute. And I think you need to have more of a rapport where you kind of do a little bit of coffee first and have a little chit chat, and then have that kind of a opening up and then go right into the lesson. So when I send someone solo for the first time, some of the joys that I get out of that is seeing the pressure for the student. And that sounds kind of weird, but it makes me believe at that particular time that the student is really thinking, and they're really trying to do a good job, and they're really trying to make sure that nothing happens and that they do safe. And because I think that's a technique that over a period of time, a lot of pilots lose that ability. As long as I've been a pilot, everybody's just had check right-itis. When I was offered the opportunity to be an examiner, I was like, wow, how great is this? I can really actually now have a direct input on how someone looks at a check right. I really like working with people. For me, when I'm working with a student pilot, and I see that proverbial light bulb go off on top of their head, that's what kind of keeps pushing me forward to try to learn better and do better as an instructor, to keep seeing that same result happen over and over again.
Wow, congratulations to Todd and AeroVenture Institute. And Tom, AOPA gives these awards to encourage the best out of the flight training industry, and certainly a good flight school and a good instructor are key. How about your experiences?
Yeah, I mean, my primary flight instructor, I was like 15 when I met him, and we lost him to cancer a few years ago, and I can still hear his voice in my head every once in a while when I'm flying. So yeah, it's pretty neat, the impact that a person like that can have. How about you?
Yes, well, I was in high school, and my first instructor was a World War II pilot, or a veteran, and actually had learned in Stearman's. And so what a great experience as a young person to get that kind of experience in the cockpit with an instructor.
Right. Yeah.